All right, so I think we're recording. So let me turn on my camera. Big up, everyone. This is me, Adam. 2025. I'm gonna be doing my reaction for the UCL draw that came out on Thursday. But today, official, the schedule is out for the UEFA Champions League. Hopefully don't lag. So because the internet kind of has me problems in recording. So yeah, let's get into it. So yeah, I'm just excited, bro. Like it's the 2025, 2026. It's World Cup season, and we got some banger games before the World Cup 2026. As you could see, hold on, let me try on my screen. Hopefully, this doesn't give me like problems as a recording. It just really annoys me. So there you go. There are some like, there you go. We are. It's official. We got announced that we will we will have some big matchups. We all know last we all know the last UCL. Obviously, PSG are the current champions of Europe, and I want to talk about everyone's schedule. Hold on, let me try to get the tools right. Hold on, let me try. I'm not trying to get copyrighted, so right. So I'm not trying to like get copyrighted, but let's see. Let's try to find the big game. So yeah, so each team has different like games. So we all know that some of them will have this. So yeah. So yeah, this is Manchester City's draw. They have Dortmund at home, Real Madrid away, which means that we'll have another Madrid City classic. Oh my goodness, why UEFA? They have Leverkusen at home, Villarreal away, Napoli, Bodo Glimt, and all Monaco, Barcelona. They got PSG. Yes, you know what? At this point, I'm just gonna get into it now. Hold on. So let me try to get into it. So yeah, we got some big games, including some rematches as well too from last year or 2 years ago or 2 seasons ago. Some rematches and some key matches. So yeah, this year's Champions League will absolutely be massive. So as we check, so we all know the 36 teams that have qualified, including the big ones: PSG, the current champions, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Chelsea are back, Spurs are back as well for the first time since 2022, 23, 2023. So yeah, we got some starting off some big games. So yeah, on September 16th, that's where the Champions League campaign will start for the first time since PSG battered Inter, but this is the new one. As PSV will take on Union Saint Gennaro, Dutch Belgian derby game. That'll be pretty interesting for the locals. And PSV, well, obviously they're a pretty great Dutch team. They're trying to prove themselves towards Europe that they could try to compete. Arsenal has Athletic Bilbao away. This is interesting. So this matchup, this means a lot. Yeah, so we're gonna have a Nico Williams and Iñaki Williams matchup against Arsenal, which means that I mean against Bakayo Saka, Victor Jajokovic, and we'll see what happens from there. But something to keep an eye on. Oh yeah, they also have former players. I mean not former players, players right now like Zumba Mendy, Miko Mourinho, who played at Sociedad. They're arch kind of rivals, even though it's a friendly one. Or as knows the Bastards, so they'll know these two teams go for it. So yeah, this is going to be a 9:45 a.m. kickoff. So I'm 9 hours behind of Europe. I'm really excited, and we got the big one on Tuesday. Juventus Dortmund will be the biggest game on Tuesday, and it's at Juventus Stadium in Turin. So yeah, there you go. So yes, this is absolutely going to be interesting. Dortmund and Juventus, they just met in a friendly. They won 2-1, even though it was just a friendly. And Dortmund didn't take that game seriously. Now it's going to be an actual serious game. They were supposed to meet in the Club World Cup quarterfinals. It didn't happen, because Real Madrid were in their way. And guess what? So, yeah, this will be on the 16th of September. And remember, guys, whoever finished top 8, they'll go straight to the playoffs. They're doing that for now. Go straight to the round of 16. If you finish 924th, you have to play a playoff round. Like, let's say Napoli will have to take on Benfica, even though this is just an example. Or Bodo Glimt, Monaco, or Marseille will have to take on Chelsea or Dortmund. But yeah, it's just interesting, this new format. I know some people prefer the old format. I get it. We got some interesting matchup: Benfica, Tottenham, Villarreal, Real Madrid, Marseille, the anti-PSG derby, because these two teams don't like PSG. Mbappe knows Marseille pretty well, obviously, when he was at PSG, as they host their first game at the Santiago Bernabeu. So yeah, that's the huge one. Real Madrid, Marseille is kind of the big one, but not the biggest one. PSG hosts Atalanta the following day. This will be the biggest game already. We got a Bayern-Chelsea link-up matchup, finally. For the first time since 2021, I believe, when was the last time they clashed? Bayern Munich will go against Chelsea at the Allianz Arena, and this is kind of huge. And there was just news going on. So both Chelsea and Bayern Munich, both of them just won their match going into the international break. Bayern won 3-2 away. Chelsea won 2-0 against Fulham today. Here and there. But apparently, they were trying to get one of their players, Nicholas Jackson. But it looks like now that deal might be off, because now, apparently, Liam Delap is injured. They have to call him off, even though Nicholas Jackson, I heard reports that he refuses and wants this deal wrapped up. So I don't know what they're doing there. But yeah, on loan. But looks like if that not happens, we'll see what happens. But yeah, this is a huge matchup. Bayern Munich and Chelsea were supposed to clash in the round of 16 in the Club World Cup. But Bayern screwed up against Benfica by not taking the game seriously, because they already qualified. So they decided to let them in, and boom, Chelsea, the current Club World Cup champions, expected to have a better season than Bayern, especially under Vincent Kompany versus Enzo Maresca. This is going to be a huge game. Chelsea have to play Bayern Munich at the Allianz. Then they got to play Manchester United. So we're going to rule out each team's schedule. Liverpool will play Atletico Madrid at the same time. That's going to be a huge game. Liverpool, as a recording, will play Arsenal tomorrow at Anfield, and they will be hosting the Spanish Arsenal, Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid, bro, they're not doing good. They just drew again. They haven't even won a game of football. They drew 1-1 with Alaves, and they're sitting 16th in the table. No win. They're in the mud right now. Atletico Madrid are winless in their first 3 games. 2-1 loss against Espanyol. And 1-1 with Elche, and now 1-1 with Alaves. It's just the same old story, bro. Atletico Madrid struggles. And it's not really sustainable. Diego Simeone, I hate to say this, but he has to retire. It's just not working. Because if he doesn't fix up, then there's no point. Even though Liverpool needs to fix up their defense as well. Atletico defensively, at least, are solid. But Liverpool's attack is clear of Atletico Madrid's. Julian Alvarez will be going up. Definitely not for the first time, of course, since playing against Liverpool. Since that 1-1 draw back in March of last year with Manchester City. So, yeah. And this matchup, and then, that's on a Wednesday, and we got, 1 Thursday matchups. These matches will be happening. We got 2 big games. Newcastle, Barcelona, already at St. James's Park. We all know Newcastle will be a tough game. I kind of expected this, but this is kind of an interesting matchup. We have Isak, even though we don't know if he's going to stay with Newcastle, will be going against FC Barcelona. That's going to be a huge one. Kind of, I mean, not a kind. I mean, well, Newcastle, I know not size, but for the local people there, that's a huge one. And we got Kevin De Bruyne. He is returning to the Etihad sooner than you expected, because his side Napoli will be playing Manchester City, and we all knew it was happening. I did expect Man City to play Napoli at home, and yes, for the first time since May, the 1-0 win against Wolves, I think that was his last home game. Or yeah, one of his last like home games, I think. And he did score for them. I think it was Bournemouth or Wolves. That was the last game, and he scored. And now he's returning for them that he had, even though he has to go against them. So like we'll see what happens Manchester City as they take on Brighton. Napoli got a last minute winner today. Something looking forward. So up to match day 2, September 30th, which is like literally like going to be everything busy. Real Madrid takes on in the away. Atalanta hosts Club Brugge, another rematch. Club Brugge knocked Atalanta out like 5-2 on aggregate. I could be wrong. I think it was 5-2 on the playoffs and knocking their spot out. Marseille hosts Ajax, another rematch of the Europa League like last year. Not last season, the season before. Inter hosts Praga. We got a rematch of the Club World Cup. This is the rematch that happened in the round of 16. Chelsea versus Barcelona. I'm sorry, Chelsea Benfica happened in the Club World Cup, and we're going to have a rematch as well in round 16. Yep, they beat them 4-1, but it had to be after extra time. After that 1-1 draw of Alvaro Di Maria scoring, they equalized for the penalty. Handball. Galatasaray hosts Liverpool. That's interesting environment. Get all these matches. Dortmund hosts Bilbao. Interesting. Napoli Sporting. Villarreal Juventus. Oh, Villarreal. And then we got the big one. Yeah, there's Leverkusen PSV. One of their players, American League Tillman, is going to be playing against his former club. Yep, even though he's at home at Leverkusen. This is the game that everyone wanted it. I'm sure you wanted it. Barcelona versus PSG. Barcelona versus Paris. The two cities. The two clubs. We all wanted this. And we didn't got, and that should have been the Champions League final, but we didn't. We didn't. Because Inter had other plans beside until they decided to screw up themselves in the final 5-0. This is the matchup everyone wanted this. Lamine Yamal, Rafinha vibes going against Ousmane Dembele, special for the Ballon d'Or, and as well Desiree Doué, the young 20-year-old who's 2 years older than Yamal, which is supposed to be their version, as he scored like twice in the Champions League final against Inter. Luis Enrique going back to Madrid or Camp Nou. Barcelona haven't even made an official hasn't made an official announcement yet if they're going to come back to the new camp. We'll see, because it's just anything could happen. Yes, this is a huge matchup. Barcelona versus PSG is a massive game, bro. It's a massive game. This is what everyone wanted for quite some time. I bet you wanted this. This is the match that everyone wanted it. Barcelona, PSG is the one. Nuno Mendes as well. Especially what he did in the Nations League final for Portugal against Spain. Trying to lock up Yamal in his pocket and winning on pens. Obviously win the whole Nations League. We're going to see another rematch as well. Hakimi going against Rafinha. Pedri versus Vitinha in the midfield battle. This is what we all wanted it, and we got it. It's at Barcelona's ground, so we'll see how PSG will match on it, because some clubs will have a run. So we're gonna look at the big clubs part 1 and some bit of part 2 their run, because there's some games in the way. This is the matchup we all wanted. This will feed families, bro. The Barcelona PSG one. This is the one that will feed families. Everyone wanted this. This is such a huge game. And then match day 3, Barcelona does host Olympiacos, Greek team. Got this matchup. Newcastle vs Benfica, interesting. PSV Napoli, very interesting. Well, the current champions of the Netherlands going to against the Italian champions. That'll be an interesting matchup. Leverkusen hosts PSG. Union Saint Germano hosts Inter. Copenhagen Dortmund. Villarreal Man City. This should be a good one, honestly. I know Villarreal. They still have Nicolas Pepe and like a few other players. I know they lost Alex Baena. But this should actually be pretty cool, honestly. Arsenal hosts Atletico Madrid at the Emirates. Yep, this is the two teams that have been criticized the most. Both starting from A, both of them struggling winning trophies. Arsenal have not won a trophy, have not won since 2020 the FA Cup final against I forgot who back in 2020. Atletico Madrid, last time they won a trophy was 2021 La Liga, and they haven't won a trophy since then. And it's Arteta ball versus Diego Simeone ball. You got good quality players from both teams, but the problem is they're and like some people like I'm not gonna lie, this could be a mid off. I'm not gonna lie, some haram ball. Unfortunately, I don't know. I mean, I like Atletico squad, Bakayo Saka, Julian Alvarez, great matchup. We'll see how the Brazilians do, Cardoso and all that. Gabriel's like I said, but I wouldn't be surprised if it becomes a mid off. But this is the matchup that is that for Atletico Arsenal. But yeah, the Barcelona PSG one interests me by far the most. Who else do we have? Athletic Club. Chelsea will be hosting Ajax for the first time in a couple of years. Sporting Lisbon versus Marseille. Monaco Tottenham. Atalanta. Frankfurt versus Liverpool. Oh, that's interesting because I'm going to get to the Real Madrid game. Hugo Ekitike is going to visit his former house as well, former club, on the 22nd of October. That's interesting. That's going to be interesting, bro. That's going to be very interesting. He's going back to his former club, and unfortunately, as a Liverpool player, we'll see if they still give him respect. But yeah, Real Madrid Juventus at the Bernabeu. This is another huge game. I know Juventus finished fourth last year. They just clashed in the Club World Cup, so this is going to be a rematch. Real Madrid beat Juventus 1-0, and they were cooking, bro. They absolutely dominated almost the whole game. The first half, it was between Real Madrid and Juventus, or slightly more Real Madrid. Juventus was a bit better in the first half, but their goalkeeper had saved 10 out of the 11 shots and only letting one goal go in. It should have ended 2-0. But yeah, Gonzalez Garcia scores the winner for Real Madrid. And yeah, now they're going to go against Juventus. This is also the Cristiano Ronaldo derby. Yes, that's correct. At the Santiago Bernabeu. That's going to be another huge one. We'll see how Mbappe does. Gonzalez Garcia. We'll see if he could score again. And that one, I believe, is also on a Wednesday. This is, by the way, these are going to be October 22nd, by the way. This time, hold on. This time, these matches will happen. This is the week or the Champions League match before El Clasico, because Real Madrid and Barcelona will be clashing at the Bernabeu on the 26th or 25th of October, depending, or 26th, depending on which day. It's likely going to be played on Saturday, let's be honest, like last year. And they're going to be going against each other. Real Madrid and Barcelona at the Bernabeu El Clasico. Yep. Bayern will host Club Brugge. Napoli against Frankfurt. Arsenal, Atletico Madrid, Union Saint Germano. And guess what? This is the one. We got another Liverpool Real Madrid matchup. Another Liverpool Real Madrid matchup, which means that Trent Alexander-Arnold will have to play his former team. I know he's fuming. He has to go to Anfield and how much fans will definitely boo him, especially after the whole saga this year. Oh my goodness, we will be there. If it's on a Tuesday, and I hope I'm not doing anything. I don't know if I'll do a watch along, but this is absolutely going to be cool. Last time Liverpool played Real Madrid was just last year's phase. They got them again. Last time Liverpool played Real Madrid, they beat them 2-0. But this time it's going to be a bit different. Trent going against them. Oh, Vinicius Jr. was injured. We'll see how it could go out. Xavi Alonso has to go at Anfield. He has to do a bit better because how could you? No, no. Sorry about that, guys. No, I'm sorry. But yeah, Liverpool, Real Madrid. Like I said, this is the matchup that interests me at Anfield. Xavi Alonso did play with Leverkusen and they did lost 4-0, which was a huge battering. So we'll see what happens. So another Salah and Mbappe matchup as well. Yep. This is going to be a huge one. Liverpool, Real Madrid. I love this rivalry. I love it. Even though it's constantly happening every year as well, just like Madrid City, which we're going to get into it. But we also have another rematch on November 3rd or 4th. We also have PSG versus Bayern at the same time. They did it last year as well, and it was at Bayern's ground. Now it's at PSG's ground, and then of course PSG just beat Bayern Munich in the Club World Cup, beating them 2-0 despite going down to 9-man. That's the crazy part. They're going to go against each other once again. This is going to be absolutely fascinating. Newcastle go against Bilbao for Man City Dortmund. That's another matchup. But you're kidding me. PSG Bayern and Real Madrid Liverpool. Liverpool Real Madrid at the same time, man. Man, I love football, especially even though it feels like football is being played on the pitch with 4 teams due to so many games happening at the same time. 6 of them. Tottenham at home, Atletico at home. Liverpool and PSG. 2 giants, Real Madrid, Bayern. This is such a huge matchup, bro. I'm really excited, bro. Barcelona, Club Brugge, Benfica, Leverkusen, Inter, Marseille, Atalanta. I think this is another rematch from the Europa League. I could be wrong. We all wanted this. Match day 5, Ajax plays Benfica. And on November 25th, Dortmund, Villarreal, Marseille, Newcastle. But on this day, guess what's back? The Chelsea-Barcelona rivalry. Yes, it's back for the first time in 7 years, 8 seasons, for the first time since Lionel Messi was still there. And Barcelona, the last time they played Chelsea in a competitive game, they beat them 3-0 at Camp Nou, the old one, obviously. 3-0, 4-1 on aggregate. The last time they played at Stamford Bridge was a 1-1 draw with I believe who was it? I forgot who scored, but Messi did score against them. This is the game that people were asking, including me, and I predicted it might happen. But this is the matchup we all kind of wanted. World champions going against Spanish champions. Blue versus blue and red, because Barcelona think blue and red can go together, but Chelsea, the color is just blue. And and obviously their rivals Arsenal red and Chelsea, that sound acceptable. This is the matchup everyone wanted. Moise Caicedo versus Pedri. We will be here. We will do a watch along on that. I will bring on Michael. We will be there. This is the matchup. I'm excited. November 25th, we will be there. This is the huge game at Stamford Bridge, bro. The world champions going against Spanish champions. 3 trophies versus 2 trophies. Club World Cup, Conference League, Barcelona, Super Cup, Copa del Rey, La Liga. This is a huge one. November 25th. Lamine Yamal, Rafinha going against Cole Palmer, Esteval, and then Pedro Neto as well. And even though there's been like reports about Fermin Lopez, but it looks like I don't know if the deal is going to happen or not. But Chelsea, Barcelona are the two coolest teams. The Pride of London versus the Pride of Catalonia. This is what I wanted. I'm excited, bro. This matchup, this has to be fired. I predicted last year it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen from last year. Maybe this matchup could have happened last year, but Chelsea didn't qualify for the Champions League because of, Pochettino, and then Enzo Maresca just got there, which landed them Conference League football and obviously won the whole thing. But now we finally get a Chelsea-Barcelona matchup. So yeah. Is anyone else excited? Yes. These two teams kind of hate each other. There's lots of history from 2009, 2006, I think, or 7, 2012 as well. The Fernando Torre moment, winning it for Chelsea against Barcelona, knocked them out at their ground. Believe in that fight. And like underrated, I forgot this guy's name. It was great center back for Chelsea. Forgot, but yeah, it says it all, bro. It says it for the history books. These two teams really don't like each other, honestly. And that's if you ask Chelsea fan, you probably would say Barcelona, probably the most hated enemy outside of England. So yeah, this is the one that we wanted. Yamal Esteval, we will be there. Cucurella as well, having that battle, we will be there. And then let's see if Barcelona's high line could handle Chelsea's attack. Especially Barcelona's back line, especially they don't have Indigo Martinez anymore. Let's see how Andres Christensen, Kubarsi could handle that Chelsea front attack. It's going to be really fire. Hopefully no injuries like happened for this big game like Vinny like last year. So okay, so going on November 25th, it's lagging. So let's check out everyone's running just a bit. Real Madrid are away at Olympiacos. Liverpool, PSG, Atletico Madrid hosts Inter Milan. We got a rematch of the Super Cup. PSG will be hosting Tottenham. Again, they just met a few weeks ago, winning on penalties after drawing 2-2. And now PSG hosts them for the Super Cup. And now they'll play against Spurs this year. Interesting. And we also have an Arsenal-Bayern Munich matchup at the same time, the following day after Barcelona-Chelsea, Chelsea-Barcelona. This is going to be real interesting. This is absolutely going to be what works. December 9th, we got these matchups. It kind of slows down from there. Barcelona. This is going to be an interesting matchup. Inter versus Liverpool. I kind of predicted it was coming. This is absolutely, especially if Inter Milan's attack defensively and offensively, Liverpool kind of as well. That has to be a great game, bro. McAllister versus Lorraine or McCrean, I guess. But yeah, Lautaro Martinez as well, going against Liverpool's front attack. Obviously, Gakpo. Let me try to get something on. But yeah, this is gonna be the matchup for the books, bro. Honestly, I'm just ready. Come on. This is the matchup for the books, bro. Hold on, guys. All right, so but yeah, we got Villarreal Copenhagen, and here we go again, December 10th, another Real Madrid Man City, and I'm not gonna say for freak's sakes or sakes, but kind of ish. How many times are we gonna get Real Madrid Man City? Is this mandatory behind closed doors in secret, or now official? Every single season, UEFA wants to put Real Madrid Man City. Every single year, bro. Are we not tired of seeing it every season, bro? Every single season. Real Madrid are at home at the Bernabeu against Man City. Another rematch. They met last season or this year's playoffs. Last year they met in the quarterfinals. Real Madrid won on pens, 4-4 in aggregate, 4-3 on pens. 1-1 draw at the Etihad after drawing 3-3. Real Madrid beat them 6-3 on aggregate in the playoff in February of this year, last season. And now they got to go against again. In the semifinals, they met twice back-to-back seasons, 22-23 and 21-22, 6-5 and 5-1. Oh my goodness, it's just really annoying. Like, why does this have to be mandatory? Why doesn't Man City play Barcelona for once? Like, why do they want to keep this Madrid City every single season, even the playoffs? I know Real Madrid, Man City were weaker last season, but I doubt this is mate. Athletic Club PSG. All right, we move on towards January. January is like more like kind of like not interesting matchups. Tottenham, Dortmund. You do have Inter Arsenal, another rematch from last year that happened in November. Another matchup between Inter Arsenal at the San Siro. Inter beat them 1-0. See how Viktor Djokovic attack. Inzaghi no longer the manager for Inter. Marseille, Liverpool, that's going to be a bit interesting because, yeah, Mason Greenwood matchup, yeah. Athletic Club, Atalanta. These matchups are okay. Juventus, Benfica, I think rematch. And the last day, I think this is the last one. Athletic Club, Sporting, Liverpool, Conspur, Barcelona, behold. Another rematch of PSG, Newcastle, Dortmund, Inter, Napoli, Chelsea, Frankfurt, Spurs, Atletico Madrid. All these games will be happening at the same time. Manchester City, Galatasaray. So not really any big games, except you could say the biggest of all is Dortmund Inter, probably. But yeah. So what do you guys think of the Champions League draw, guys? So let's check out everyone's schedule. Starting with I'm just hoping I'm not lagging. I know this has been a long video, but I just need to get this off my chest. So let's start with Chelsea. So today they won 2-0 against Fulham. I watched the game. It was 4:30 a.m. and it was just a bit annoying. I know there's some controversial refereeing. Besides that, so Chelsea between now and December or January, they gotta play Bayern Munich. Okay, no, they got 3 straight away games. They got Brentford in the London Derby. They got Bayern Munich at the Allianz, and then they got to play Manchester United the following 3 days away at Old Trafford. And then like they have a Carabao Cup game, I think, in between. I don't know if they're in that round. Chelsea hosts Brighton, and then they play Benfica at home. So they'll host 3 straight home games after 3 straight away games. Chelsea will play Liverpool at home. That's going to be a big one. It looks like that game is being played at 9:30 a.m. Saturday, not 8:30 Sunday for me. Or you get the point. And then they got to play Nottingham Forest, playing Ajax. They host Sunderland. They got Tom or Spurs in the Derby. They have a Carabao Cup game, I think, in between if they do move to the round of 16. Queenberg away at Chelsea. And then they'll host Wolves at home. And after the international break of November, they play Burnley away. And then they got this big matchup against Barcelona at the Bridge. And then 4 days later on Sunday, they got to play Arsenal in the Derby at Stamford Bridge. So got some back-to-back games for Chelsea. They got Leeds away. Let's see how Chelsea could handle the UCL because they could use the B team easily for the Conference League. But will it be the same for Champions League? We'll find out. They got Bournemouth away. They got that double December header. Atalanta away in Italy. They host Everton. They play Newcastle away, and I believe that's it. And then like a few games in between Boxing Day, Bournemouth and Villa. They got to play Manchester City in early January. Fulham again in the Derby at Craven Cottage, Brentford, and then they play Crystal Palace away in the Derby, and then the final game against Napoli. And then the schedule goes on. We'll see if they make it in the playoffs because they'll have to play a UCL game or so. So we will see for it. Espérate.
Oye, ¿para qué gritas?
Yeah, sorry about that, Mom. Apologies. She wants me if I'm gonna eat. Yes, of course. I'm just trying to wrap up. So let's go to Bar. Let's go to Barcelona. So they play on Rayo Vallecano tomorrow, as Real Madrid won their game today. They play Rayo Vallecano tomorrow, and then they got Valencia at home on Sunday, where it's going to be the new camp. I don't know if be official announced this week, this coming week, that it be open or gets delayed, or new stadium. Like, I don't know if it's going to be played the Modric or another unofficial stadium or Girona. I don't know. They got Valencia at home. They got Newcastle away. They host Getafe. They play Real Oviedo away midweek. They got Sociedad, the San Sebastian team, the Basque team. And then they play PSG. That's the matchup. And then they got to play Seville away. And then after the international break, they got Girona, Olympiacos, which I think they should handle pretty well in these two games before they got to play their biggest rivals, Real Madrid, away at the Bernabeu for El Clasico. They hold Elche, so Barcelona, they will have that little tough run in September-ish, I would say, against Odevello, Sociedad, even though Sociedad are not great, PSG, and then Seville, but PSG by far the toughest game. So even they're just gonna have one game, and that's El Clasico. But November's fixtures for Barcelona gets kind of pretty tough. They got Celta Vigo before the international break. They got Bilbao at home, which I think they'll probably win this time. And then they got to play Chelsea away. They got Alaves at home, and then they'll take a break. Or I don't know. I heard rumors that they could have to play Atletico Madrid early in December, and then because of the Super Cup, which I'm gonna get into it. They play Real Betis away in Seville as well. They host Frankfurt. They host Osasuna. It's going to be a little bit tough for Barca. Let's see if they can handle it. Villarreal away as they're trying to put that game in Miami. They play Espanyol in the derby. This is the Super Cup. I think that game will be moved in December, like first or something, because the Super Cup. Yeah, Bilbao possible another El Clasico final, or maybe Atletico Madrid Barcelona's Super Cup final. Though they'll probably be El Clasico as they have the Madrid derby. We're gonna get to Real Madrid. They got Sociedad away, Bala Prague, Odvejo. They host them, Copenhagen, and that's in the Copa del Rey matches here and there. The next El Clasico and Atletico Barcelona won't be till April and May. We'll see how far they go. Let's see if they. I do expect them to qualify top 8, most likely, like they did last year. Let's go to Real Madrid today. They did got a 2-1 victory against Mallorca, but it wasn't as impressive. Real Madrid came back from behind. Arda Güler, Vinicius Jr. scoring 2 quick goals together. Real Madrid did outplay them. They did concede from a corner from Muriqi, but they just haven't scored. I mean, it's just Real Madrid did score third, but the referee chopped it off, so they just controlled the ball. And Real Madrid, they gotta play Sociedad away in San Sebastian on Saturday after the international break, 4:14 p.m. for me. I'm local time, 7:15 a.m. for me, and then they gotta play Marseille at the Bernabeu, and then they host Espanyol at home, and then they gotta play Levante, and they gotta play Atletico Madrid at in the Madrid derby at the Metropolitano. So Real Madrid, I think they have a tough run between September and October's window. Sociedad, I know they have them. They're winless for now. I get it. They're winless for now. As long yes, they just lost 1-0 to Odevello and they don't even play European football. Real Madrid play Marseille. We'll see how Marseille does. They've been doing okay so far in the French league, or just okay start. Espanyol, well, we all know that they could try. Levante, nearly promoted, will also be a tough one. They did give Barcelona a great game. The Madrid derby with Atletico, we all know the Madrid derby always has to be around the same time. Kivrash, Real Madrid, Villarreal at home. It's going to be tough. Even after the international break in October. In La Liga, I heard there is like a 2-month period. They will stay in the Madrid area. So they will play Getafe, which is in the derby, which is community derby, just south of them. like a couple miles south from the Bernabeu in the city center. And then they host Juventus and Barcelona, but they got some big games. October is going to be a real tough one. Getafe, Juventus, Barcelona, Valencia. They'll host 3 straight games in a row. They'll get a week break. But after Valencia, they got to play Liverpool away at Anfield, which is the massive one. And then they got Rayo Vallecano in the derby as well. So they'll have to take a break as before the international break. Elche away, Olympiacos in Greece, Girona, 3 straight away games, even though Girona are in big trouble, so they should able to handle them. Celta Vigo at home, and then they got the big one, Manchester City. So yeah, October and November, that's gonna be crucial. Literally after, so September and October, Real Madrid honestly has a hard fixtures. Even though starting with Sociedad, it could begin after the international break because they got all these matchups: the Madrid derby, the Juventus, Barcelona matchups, Clasico, Liverpool, Valencia. It's gonna be really tough. It's gonna be periods until like December. Or like calm. I mean, we'll calm down through here and there, but like December 10th, they still gotta play Man City, Alaves away. Real Madrid plays Seville at home, and then they host Real Betis Super Cup. I told you the Madrid derby. Oh yeah, that December matchup or what's called January 11th. I think that game Bilbao will likely be played just like last year, December 1st or something. They gotta play them again, Bilbao. Real Madrid gotta play Levante. They host Monaco, play Villarreal away, which will be difficult. Benfica away in Portugal will be their last game, so we'll see how it stands out. It's gonna be really interesting. Copa del Rey matches here and there as well. I do expect Real Madrid to finish top 8. But guess who might have the toughest one? In my opinion, I think PSG might have the toughest run. I'm gonna explain why. I know they just played a lot of games. Of course, they lost 3-0. So today they did beat Toulouse 6-3 at their ground, 3-6 at their ground, convincingly. Dembele had like a brace, 2 pens, but they were not from open play. Took his 2 pens pretty well. João Neves scored a hat trick from open play, or Cola getting one as well. PSG, they will host Lens pretty well. They play Atalanta at home. So, okay, PSG have a good start, but the 21st of September will get real tricky. They got Marseille, even though they've always beat their rivals, but you'll never know. Marseille, wait, but Barcelona, that's gonna be really hard. That could be a draw, and they could get outplayed. They got Lille away. They host Strasbourg. They play Leverkusen. So okay, maybe in October they wouldn't be as bad, just a Barcelona matchup. But November, that's where it starts to get real tricky. They host Nice. They have to play Bayern Munich at home. They play Lyon away, even though Lyon are kind of weaker right now. Hey, they play Spurs, so like only just that one game, Barcelona and Bayern. And then late November you do have a little tough game. Spurs at home, Monaco away. We'll see how Xavier, the goalkeeper, does. PSG hosts Runners. December gets a little bit tricky, even though the French league is just so easy to do. They play Athletic Club away in the Basque Country. So December 10th, they play Athletic Club. But here's the thing: if you don't know what's going on with PSG, since they're the current champions of Europe, they have to play in this year's Intercontinental Cup. After they play Mons away in France, they got to play this year's Intercontinental Cup right here in the middle, which I'm going to show you about this year's Intercontinental Cup, which I think Qatar is hosting it. We got PSG will play Paris FC in their first matchup in their first Paris derby. They're literally right next to each other. PSG have to play Newcastle, Sporting Lisbon, all that in between. So PSG, okay, maybe it's not as tough, but Barcelona, Bayern, Spurs kind of give and Bilbao gives them the hard task. Don't forget they got that Intercontinental Cup December 10th. All right, let me try to search up. Come on, there it is. All right, let me show you guys. So yeah, the old Club World Cup that happened, which obviously Chelsea won the new format. So so I'm not trying to get anything copyrighted. I apologize. They still gotta play in that, even though they're already in the finals. So they just need to play that. So PSG will be waiting until the 17th of December, which I think will be played on a Wednesday. I don't know if you could see it. So PSG, I think this is the same. So PSG will be waiting. God damn it. My apologies. So PSG gotta play. They'll be waiting their final. So it could be either one of these opponents could be Cruz Azul, the current champions CONCACAF, both having the same scoreline 5-0, winning both their champions trophy. And but Cruz Azul will be playing one of the South American champions. Something is telling me we'll have a Brazilian PSG final. It could be a PSG Flamengo final or Palmeiras. Mostly PSG Flamengo. Something is telling me. And right now we're in the quarterfinal stages. So I don't know. So I'm convinced it's going to happen, and that's going to be tough as well. Brazilian clubs, they've done well in the Club World Cup itself, so that's something to keep an eye on. So yeah, I should have done, but unfortunately, guys, I think that's it. Unfortunately, I ran out of time. Come on, unfortunately, I ran out of time, guys. I couldn't do everyone's um but I just hope I could resemble. I couldn't do Man City, Liverpool. I forgot to mention Liverpool have to play both Real Madrid and Man City back to back like they did last year. So it's gonna be really hard. So yeah, my parents need me. So sorry about that. I might try to do part two, but big up, guys. Big up, guys. Make sure you smash the like, subscribe.